Apologies in advance for when that recording sound turns off. That's always how you know the meditation is really over. Unless it's a test of your concentration, actually. So I think everyone here has been to at least one, if not most, of the sessions so far. As a lot of you are tracking, this is week 4 of the Foundations of Mindfulness or Origins of Mindfulness series. And this whole time, we've actually been following a very traditional list, a list that's at least 2,500 years old, of kind of different ways to build up and exercise and create a kind of base for your mindfulness practice, which is to say a base for your awareness of how things are without adding or subtracting. Really that simple. That's one way we can define mindfulness. It's just sensing how things are without taking away and without adding. And so we're exercising our ability to do that with these foundations. And so the foundations so far, just to go through them, first foundation was just our sense of our body. Our body is like our anchor in this deep sea of mind activity. We need something to kind of root us to some kind of reality. Even that, of course, is impacted by our mind, our sense of our body. And so that could become a point of investigation too. But our body is a really nice anchor for us to have a solid, stable-ish foundation to rely on. So we have our body. And then the next part we did feeling tones, or we did our sense of positive, negative, neutral. How does this feel? Do I like it? Do I dislike it? Am I pulling more of it towards me? Am I pushing it away? Or am I doing something that's neither? That was our second week. And then last week, we focused on what we might call mental states. That's how it's often translated. Really, we could just also say these are kind of emotions. These are more complex emotions and places that our mind goes. And we talked a little bit about that, and each of us had different things come up. Each of these layer with each other, and we kind of last week practiced working from the beginning, body up to feeling tone, up to mental states or emotions. You can also work back the other way. You can start, and this is actually a really great way to practice. I've been doing this a lot recently. We'll fully admit it, where you have a really strong emotion, and then you say, all right, what's the feeling tone of this? Which often seems like an obvious, you don't even need to ask. It's already there, right? If I'm very upset or distressed about something, it's like, this feels bad. This feels really bad. So check. That step was easy. And then you can go even further back into, all right, what's going on in my body right now? And deconstruct. And so you can go kind of forward and backward in these layers. And we'll do a little bit of that today. The fourth foundation of mindfulness or origin of mindfulness in this list is, we could translate it as mindfulness of a wisdom perspective. Really, this is trying on a certain lens. And it's a lens that's supposed to help you deal with a world that can be tough sometimes. Deal with a world that often frustrates us or lets us down. It's just part of being alive, those experiences. And so we're meant to look in these directions of perspectives that can be helpful. So traditionally, there's a list of 3 perspectives that we can look at. And that list has also been expanded even further. And I won't go into all the different lists. There's lots of lists. We don't need to worry about all of those lists. The idea is these 3 things that we're so familiar with type 1 diabetes are actually at the core of wisdom perspectives. And those 3 things are our felt sense of discomfort. And just being able to look at things through a lens of comfort or discomfort, which is very similar to feeling tone. Second is really sinking into the way that everything's changing all the time. And again, we already kind of looked at that when we were doing week 1, looking at the body and what we were feeling. Oh, I'm feeling this. Now I'm feeling something a little bit different. Oh, now it's changed a little bit. So these are already kind of baked in. And then the third perspective being that everything is connected. Nothing stands alone. Nothing stands alone other than everything. And even everything doesn't stand alone because everything has nothing. And so this interconnectedness is kind of this third truth that we can look at. I wouldn't even say truth like a capital T. It's really a lens that we can try on. It's actually sometimes even worse when people think, oh, that's the truth. I'm going to soak myself in that one perspective, and they get stuck in that. So we have those three lenses, but we could even go further than that. What about other lenses that are in some way supportive of our well-being, of our going through this world? I'd love to just take a moment. I'll say a few too. I'll put it out. But if anybody wants to either say something out loud unmuted or just put something in the chat, what's like a perspective or a mental lens that you could look at the world through that would help you? You might think of a lens that somebody you really admire takes on, or you might think of a lens that you take on sometimes that helps you through a difficult moment or helps you see things more clearly. So this might be something like classic word that you hear all the time, compassion or kindness. What if I put on a lens of kindness to look at this situation? Wow, that could be pretty dramatically different. I think about a challenge that I'm having right now, and I am not looking at it through a lens of kindness. I've tried the lens of struggle and it's helped, but I just spoke to a mentor, and he was like, have you tried looking at it from the lens of loving kindness? And I was like, yeah, obviously I have not tried. All right, what is everybody saying? Problem solving. Yeah, there's this lens of, is there something that I can do about it? And maybe we might say, like, what's wise action? Interconnectedness. Beautiful, right? This is not separate from everything else, from the things that I like, from the things that I dislike. This has a past and a future. Everything changes. Yeah, these are all lenses that we can try on. We can sit there, and basically what this fourth foundation of mindfulness asks us to do is sit with these first three foundations and then say, if I look at this from a lens of everything changes, what's my experience of everything changes in my body? What's my experience of everything changes with my feeling tones? What's my experience of everything changes in my mental states and my emotions? And you can apply those same words for any lens that we might take. Today, because I've been kind of remiss in my own life to not include this lens of kindness and softness and gentleness, which I think is a wisdom perspective. In my own life, I'll say, let's go with that one. So I'll speak to that one today in our practice. But also, if you feel more called to look at this lens of everything is changing or everything's interconnected, you can kind of replace my words and the practice with a wisdom perspective, a frame of mind that's bigger than just you, that helps you look at the world. You could replace it with any such perspective that you like. I'll go forward with the perspective of kindness. So let's practice. Lots of words. It's a good time to practice. So actually, I've already closed my eyes, but if you've closed your eyes, take a moment to open them back up really quickly and just use your eyes and really use the turning of your actual physical head, not even needing to move your eyes around so much, but moving your head to change your gaze, change your perspective, and just gently moving your head around. There's no right way or right speed or path. Move your head around as you feel called. Notice that what you see changes with the direction that you look. these lenses, these wisdom perspectives are just like this. I can't really see the painting behind me unless I actually turn around to look at it. So with these perspectives, we try on different directions. And having located ourselves in our space by looking around, can slowly make your eyes or your head come back to neutral. And as you're ready, you can let your eyes come to rest. Whatever you notice right now is perfect. Perfect thing to notice. Yet another great wisdom perspective. Everything is perfect. And another one, everything is flawed. Both ways. Great perspectives to try on. As I close my eyes, my mind is naturally drawn to the sounds in the room, tension in my body, which I might just gently release. My thoughts, doubts, concerns, my breath somewhere in my body from head to toe. An itch that I'm not going to scratch. Just notice it pass away just as it came up. Let's use our imagination to imagine that we're breathing just normal breaths. So your mind will figure it out after a few breaths. But as you breathe in this normal breath, that the breath goes all the way to your toes and fills your body up, starting from the toes all the way up to the hips, all through the torso and arms, up to the top of the head. And that's the inhale, and the exhale empties back out from the top of the head down to the toes. So just one breath at a time. Breath doesn't need to be particularly big or slow. It might slow down just with this mental image. Just follow the rise and fall of the breath from head to toe and from toe up to head. Let's see what happens if you just let that breath fill up from head to belly. So from your waist all the way up to your head, from the top of your head back down to your belly. Maybe the breath just naturally becomes a little gentler, a little less. Breathing the most comfortable breath. Simplifying even further and just breathing to fill up only the heart. Inhale, you breathe straight into your heart and fill it to a level that feels comfortable. And on the exhale, let it empty itself out, one breath at a time. If it feels supportive to give your mind a place to rest, you can start counting. Counting 1 on the inhale, and then 2 on the next inhale, etc. If you prefer, you can just breathe. Oh, it's about now that you'll notice your thoughts pawing at you like a puppy. They want your attention. Do your best not to wrestle with them. No matter how much they paw at you, eventually they'll settle down too. They'll take after you. Try this lens of kindness as we are pawed at by our thoughts. Breathing warmly in and out of the heart. One breath at a time. Don't look for the next breath. Don't engage with your thoughts. Just breathe warmly. Is there a person who really exemplifies this quality, this lens that you're trying on, whether it's kindness or something else? Maybe more than one person comes to mind. Just imagining a person or two people who you know really exemplify this quality, whether it's a kindness perspective or something else. Breathe in as if just receiving this fully into your heart. You may even feel yourself take on a little bit of this person's perspective. Where does their kindness or wisdom come from? Just feeling into this, not thinking through it. Finding that source in your own mind and body, one breath at a time. As you try this lens on, lean into what feels right. You might do that with breath. You might do that with softening your body. You might do that with really soaking and enjoying anything that feels right or good about this experience of wisdom or kindness of some sort. One breath at a time, in and out of the heart. If there's a feeling, slowly, slowly letting that feeling move throughout your body. No rush. Could take you 20 minutes to get there. Full practice. Just letting the heart pump this feeling through the body as you breathe in and warm and generate it. If you are plagued by thoughts. Just treating them the way that you would a restless puppy. There. You can't even help but feel a little bit of warmth. Thoughts can be cute, like a puppy. Stepping back, leaning more into what feels comfortable or right. And as you stray from this, you can bring back to mind any inspiring people with this quality to reignite this in your own experience. Like this, just pay attention to what's happening in your head from the inside out, letting your mind fully occupy your head. Just noticing, bringing around this perspective of kindness, this lens, looking at everything you see through this lens. Same thing with the neck, fully occupying your neck space with kindness. And same thing with your arms, letting your mind fully spread out into all of your space of your arms, from shoulders to fingertips. How can you just observe, but with eyes of kindness, the body of kindness, the mind of kindness? Subtle. And then same for our upper torso, the tops of our shoulders, just somewhere around our rib cage, ending upper torso, letting the mind fully expand to fill this space. Just feeling, just sensing with kindness. And now your lower torso, your abdomen area, from the bottom of your ribs to around your hips. No need to be exact, just to give an idea. Fully living there. in that space. Making sure to bring your lens of kindness to anything, even thoughts that emerge, observing. Same thing with the hips and the pelvic area, pelvic bowl. Kindness, kindness. Your upper legs, from hip to knee, fully living there and only there for a few moments. Noticing things appear and disappear. Lower legs, and use your imagination here as well. Even if you don't have a sense of some part of your body, still feeling into it with kindness. And noticing, as always, what comes up from just that instruction. And feet, again, using the stance of kindness. And as you're ready, you can open yourself back up to the whole space of your body. Allowing your mind to occupy your whole body. Toes to head, fingertip to fingertip, everything in between. Letting whatever is noticed be noticed with this gentle, well-wishing peace. Anything within the confines of your body, as decided by your skin. Opening up even further, seeing if this sense of your boundaries can loosen, ease, sensing everything in your experience, even beyond the confines of your body. Everything in your whole experience is welcomed with a gentle well-wishing, a wordless kindness. Kindness that extends in every direction, without you needing to make it extend. It's already there, one step ahead of you. Just sitting in this a few moments longer, soaking it in, soaking in it. And we can close our practice for today with a quote, advice, and a practice instruction that are as old as these foundations of mindfulness are. And it goes, radiate boundless love towards the entire world, above, below, and across, unhindered, without ill will, without enmity. As you feel ready, you can begin your process of coming back. And you can do so slowly with bigger breaths and small movements. Semi-aggressive neck cracks. And in a moment, I'll hit the stop recording button, so meditation will really be over.